Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a massive shift that's happening right now on factory floors and in facilities all around the world. We're going to demystify collaborative robots, or as they're better known, cobots. We'll explore their anatomy, trace their incredibly rapid history, and break down the newly updated 2025 safety standards that are literally rewriting the rulebook on how humans and machines coexist.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start by meeting your new coworker, break down the anatomy of a cobot, look at a quick timeline of their evolution, see where they're actually working in the real world right now, and finally, navigate those vital new rules of safety.
All right, part 1, meet your new coworker, the era of collaborative safety.
It's the ultimate million-dollar question, isn't it? For years, the prevailing anxiety has always been, is a robot going to take my job? But honestly, the reality on the ground is shifting way away from total human replacement. Instead, industrial environments are rapidly moving toward a hybrid approach. The future isn't just machines replacing us. It's about machines working directly alongside us.
And that brings us to exactly what a cobot is. It's a collaborative robot, explicitly designed to work safely next to humans. Unlike the giant, kind of blind machines of the past, cobots have built-in technology to instantly stop, or at least drastically reduce their movement, the second they bump into you. Think of them as the ultimate polite coworker. They are engineered from the ground up to respect your personal space.
The contrast between the old way and the new way is honestly night and day. Traditional industrial robots, they're essentially kept in isolation. They have to operate behind heavy steel cages just to keep people out of harm's way. Cobots, on the other hand, are placed right out in the open. They are right there on the floor with you, taking over those dull, repetitive tasks, which frees you up for complex problem solving, and as a bonus, drastically cuts down on repetitive strain injuries.
Moving on to part 2, the anatomy of a cobot. Let's crack one open and break down the machine.
So, every single cobot relies on 4 key components. First up is the controller. You can really think of this as the absolute brain of the operation. It's the central processing unit that's constantly taking in data, analyzing the environment, and deciding the absolute best actions for the machine to take, all in a fraction of a millisecond.
But here's where the magic really happens. The sensors. They act as the cobot's eyes and sense of touch, constantly scanning the space around them to detect humans or obstacles. Without these sensors feeding real-time data back to the brain, that polite, safe response we talked about, it just wouldn't be possible.
Okay, so once the brain decides on an action, and the sensors give the all-clear that the path is safe, the actuators take over. These are the physical mechanisms responsible for the cobot's actual movement. If the controller is the brain and the sensors are the senses, well, the actuators are the muscle doing the heavy lifting and the precise maneuvering. And finally, tying the whole shebang together, we have the control system. This is the sophisticated software pulling all the strings. It acts like a nervous system, seamlessly tying the brain, the senses, and the muscles together to make sure they communicate flawlessly. That's how the cobot performs its tasks safely and efficiently.
Section 3, a timeline of collaboration. From a PhD concept to an absolute global boom.
The timeline here is actually pretty wild when you look at how condensed it is. This all started as a PhD concept in the late 90s by Danish engineer Dr. Esben Ostergaard. Fast forward to 2008, his company, Universal Robots, starts selling the pioneering UR5. Then, the floodgates just opened. By 2012, Rethink Robotics introduced Baxter, and by 2015, KUKA was rolling out specialized machines for aerospace and medicine. I mean, going from a university lab to highly specialized industrial dominance took less than 2 decades.
And the scale of this adoption? Staggering. We aren't just talking about some niche factory gadget anymore. The global market value for cobots is projected to hit a massive $8 billion by 2030. That alone proves just how absolutely essential this technology is becoming to the future of global production.
Which brings us to Section 4, cobots in the real world. Where exactly are they working today?
Because of their incredible flexibility, cobots are popping up everywhere, genuinely touching products you use every single day. In manufacturing, they're handling precise assembly. In the automotive world, they do high-precision welding. They are even used for hygienic packaging in food and beverage because they're super easy to sanitize. Over in healthcare, they're dispensing meds and safely moving patients. And in logistics, they are tirelessly picking, packing, and sorting packages. Their versatility is basically unmatched. However, I should point out that implementing them isn't always a simple, clear-cut choice.
automation specialists have to weigh some serious competing constraints. Choosing between a traditional industrial robot and a cobot requires a very careful balancing act. You really have to weigh your demand for high-speed output against the absolute necessity of humans working safely nearby. You definitely need expert guidance to pick the right tool for the job.
All right, our final section, number 5. The new rules of safety. Let's navigate the 2025 ISO 1021-18 updates. With this massive global boom and adoption comes a totally new philosophy, what's being called Safety 2.0. This is the foundational idea driving the recent regulatory updates. It's a complete paradigm shift. We're moving away from simply keeping humans and machines apart and moving toward true collaborative safety, actively enabling us to productively and safely coexist.
The effort behind these new standards was monumental. Before 2025, cobot safety was covered by a separate, kind of supplementary technical specification. But as the tech and the use cases evolved, experts from over 20 countries spent nearly 8 years meticulously revising the rules. The 2025 updates officially consolidate all of those separate safety requirements directly into one unified set of global rules.
And the real-world impact of these revisions? It's huge. As the rulebook now notes, safety requirements are explicitly stated, not just implied. That specific wording change was purposefully designed to make the requirements crystal clear. It radically simplifies the route to compliance for anyone putting a cobot on a factory floor.
So, what does this all mean for us? The tech has evolved from a PhD concept to an $8 billion juggernaut. The international safety standards have been thoroughly modernized and unified to protect us. The era of humans and machines working in isolation is officially ending, and the era of collaborative safety is here. So, as these machines step out from behind their cages to augment our capabilities, are you ready to embrace the future and collaborate with your new robotic coworker? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.